So the final story I have for you is trashing my favorite person to trash on these episodes, because what a mother load of bullshit this person carries. Attorney General Bill Barr. So this article comes from Fox News. The title, Barr says notion, quote unquote notion, of separation of church and state misunderstood because of, quote, militant secularists. Secularists. Barr noted a correlation between lack of religion and increased reliance on government. Oh, God. Okay. So, Bill Barr has said crazy shit like this before. I should have known this was coming. For some reason, the burning pit of rage inside of me still grew a little bit bigger despite that. So, Bill Barr's grand idea here, his philosophy, his philos, if you will, that he espoused during the National Catholic Prayer Breakfast is that, you know what? Let me just actually read a quote. This quote will sum it up. I don't like reading verbatim, but I'm going to do it here. Militant secularists have long seized on that slogan as a facile justification for attempting to drive religion from the public square and to exclude religious people from bringing a religious perspective to bear on conversations about the common good. So, if that was true, Mr. Barr, Esquire Barr, if this was true, wouldn't countries that are extremely religious have extremely low reliance on government and be a panacea, if you will, or a utopia, as you so describe? If so, I would think that your favorite countries would be Saudi Arabia. We talked about these earlier. Qatar, United Arab Emirates, Iraq, Pakistan, kind of China, countries like that. Would you like to live in any of those countries, Esquire Barr? I'm going to grant the supreme position here of saying no, he would not want to live in any of those places. All of those are basically theologian governments. They are all run by somebody who is a priest or has a high title in the church, somebody who was ordained specifically by God to lead that land. We specifically do not do that in this country. And here's a little fact. The American Revolution was a huge part of the American Revolution was getting away from that. So here again, we have one of the leading members of the quote-unquote party of patriotism, the Patriot Party, fundamentally undermining a critical pillar of the American idea, the American philosophy, and the American way of life. Is society breaking down because of lack of religion? Well, if that were the case, then the country must have been more religious every time in history than it is right now. Is that true? No, it is not true. Wow. So it's almost as if nothing is changing and somebody is being an alarmist because they like fighting for their religious views and don't like reality so much. Come on. The country has been at its most religious point ever in history right now, and things are more fucked up. That these people are saying things are more fucked up than they've ever been. He's saying society has never been less moral because people are trying to drive church and state apart. Well, I hate to break this to him, especially with him being a law scholar and all, but there is no mention of a specific religion in any of the founding American documents. Not one. And if your pastor has been telling you that America was founded to be a Christian nation, then he's lying to you. And if that offends you, go ahead and turn me off. That's fine. Although I don't think a lot of the people who feel that way are watching the show, whatever. America was not founded as a Christian nation. America was founded in part to escape religious oppression. Well, what happens when the church and state are intertwined? Is it everybody's church? Or is it just the Christian church? Or is it just the Islamic church? Or is it just the Jewish church? Or the Hindu church? Is this not like really easy to see? This is the problem. Church and state cannot be intertwined because you can't intertwine everybody's church and state in the same place. It wouldn't make any sense. There would be no cohesion in law and order. There would be no underlying anything. He's saying that religion provides basically underlying guidance when it comes to governing. Well, whose religion? You can't do it for everybody's. It's got to be one or nothing. So by default, you would be excluding at worst, 6 billion people from your system of government. And that's just saying, I say that just to say that there's about a billion-ish Christians in the world. There's like 1.5 billion Muslims, something like that. The other religions have smaller memberships. So every religion is represented in America somehow. So you get to exclude everybody else's religion because you're the majority? This is basic 101 math here, Esquire Barr. This is obviously contrarian to the founding of America. So I'm going to put this very plainly. If you love America, if you feel patriotic, if you support the troops, if you love our system of government, if you love the idea that innocence is presumed before guilt, you cannot have those ideas and simultaneously think that our government should be intertwined with religion. Doesn't work that way. You can't be a free society governed by moral laws that do not fit into your system of morality. There is no system of morality that is not allowed in the United States unless it harms somebody else. So is Bill Barr's assertion that everybody who isn't Christian is thereby harming somebody? I don't know about that. That sounds a little bit prejudiced to me. Sounds like that's pretty easy to see the fault in. I felt like this was a good story to leave you on this episode, because I'm sure Bill Barr will say something stupid and authoritarian and apparently now, theological every week, and I'll get to trash it. And I enjoy it because I think he's a despicable human being. I think he has no moral compass. And I think he's been a terrible attorney general, along with all of the attorney generals pretty much in my lifetime. So I guess he's following in suit well. So think about that, please, and share that with your friends. If you have anybody who feels the same way that he says he does, there are basic issues with that statement, with his what he has put forth there, that a kindergarten could figure out. No, wait a minute. I'm insulting preschoolers by saying that a preschooler could figure out. And it should not be in the media machine that is a legitimate viewpoint, that you can legitimately not be a traitor and have that view. It is sedition, and rather it should be sedition, to preach or espouse ideas that fundamentally undermine the pillars of American democracy, of American freedom, of the American idea. Whether it is in black and white, plain English, counter to them, or whether it is implied, or whether or not it invalidates the spirit of the American founding. That should be sedition. It should be traitorous. At least for the people that are in government. I believe strongly in freedom of speech. I think you should be able to to preach anti-American views in America and have that right be protected. I would not agree with those people, but I would die to protect their right to do it. However, in government, we need to have a baseline that you actually somewhat like and appreciate the country's founding ideals before you want to run it.